بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the primer for preparing ourselves to study logic in the Islamic system within the pedagogy, the curriculum of Islam. And alhamdulillah, reach now the section on benefits and application of logical thinking. If you are an educator, you understand what's going on here. These are the famous sort of 10 launching points or the 10 starting points that we want to engage in before we jump into a topic. I'm going through some of them. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, within the classical normative Sunni system, there was this idea that if a student, before they jumped into a topic, learned these kind of 10 preliminary things about it, it would really enhance their ability to progress and engage that topic. So there were 10. There's a poem, "من رم فنا فليقدم أولا علما بفد ثم موضوع ترى" by al-Maqri. He says it in إضاءة الدجنة. There's one poem that captures these 10. He says, whoever wants to master science should learn these 10 things before they jump in. So here we see the systematic approach of the classic Islamic system of education. It wasn't perfect, but it's very well organized. So one of them is the name of a subject, the topics that it addresses, the questions that it answers, the ruling on studying it, what are its prerequisites, what is its definition, and so on and so forth. Who organized it for the first time as something that should be taught. And then the benefits, the value prop. And so here you see in front of you the benefits and applications of logical thinking. So that's kind of what I'm doing without saying it. And I want you just to remember, if this is the first time you've ever heard this, like, okay, so in the future, like when I study, right, I'm going to come across these 10 sort of entry points to understanding a subject. The Arabic text that we're going to be studying soon, after we finish this, will address several key benefits and practical applications of studying logic. But for your benefit, let's just ask the question, why should someone study logic? And we know that the ulama within the Sunni tradition have 3 opinions about studying logic, that it's fard. It's the opinion of the Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali and others. Number 2, that is haram. That's the opinion of Ibn Taymiyyah and as-Suyuti and Nawawi. And then the third is the majority of Sunnis who say it's permissible for someone who has the knowledge, right, and sort of needs to study this. Okay. I would say now that becomes more so because the tradition itself, the majority of the Sunni academic as well as Shia academic canons were composed in a logical style. So I've seen actually Arabs try to read like books in Usul al-Fiqh, like Imam al-Asnawi's explanation of al-Baydawi's Minhaj, and they couldn't understand, even though it was in Arabic, and they were very frustrated, like, this is in Arabic, why am I not able to understand it? Well, it's not written in the Arabic in the newspaper, or even the Arabic, say, in contemporary Islamic books. It's written in a very classical style. Okay? So if you've studied like a book like Ajurumiyah, if you look at it, think about how it's like very kind of almost cumbersome. Like, you don't learn language from Ajurumiyah. You learn rules like وَأَقْسَامُهُ ثَلَاثَةٌ اسم وفعل حرف جاء لمعنى فالاسم يعرف بالخفض والتنوين والدخول الألف واللام وحروف الخفض وهي. This is that style in a very simple form. Very hard to escape it. So this text responds that we're going to study in the future says we might not need to learn logic if our thinking was always sound, but of course we're going to error. We talked about this last time. Like, the nature of people is to make mistakes. So the study of logic is necessary and essential because it provides a systematic framework for evaluating and improving our natural thinking processes. Absolutely. But also for those of us who are thinking of taking on religious as a vocation, even if you're from, say, a school that considers studying logic is forbidden, you're still going to need it to understand and read those classical texts well. What are some of the specific benefits? Number one, it's the foundation of all science. If logic investigates the laws of thought to distinguish correct from incorrect thinking, and if thought is the foundation of every science, then logic is the foundation of all sciences. This is, by the way, a logical syllogism. It provides also a universal framework for diverse thinking. So logic to thought is sound to speech and language. So no matter how much people differ in their styles of thinking or styles of speech or types of arguments and methods of inference, they tend to submit to general rational laws with a common goal for their thinking to be correct and free from contradiction. So logic establishes like these common standards that transcend cultural, religious, and disciplinary boundaries. So we say, for example, two opposites cannot function together without there being some type of instability. Like that's something most people can agree on. 3, application of scientific research. Logic does not stop at investigating thought and distinguishing correct from incorrect thinking. Rather, it applies these general rules to various specific research methodologies according to the nature of each method. You're going to find this in fiqh and usul al-fiqh and even in al-Kalam. So logic informs the development of appropriate research methods across different fields of inquiry. So it's not only talking about the conclusion, which are thoughts, is talking also about the methods of thinking. So logic addresses both. It provides that method so that we can evaluate our thinking. Development of critical faculties. Logic cultivates in humans the faculty of critique and evaluation, weighing arguments and judging them as complete or deficient, as well as contributing to what it sees as sound, as long as that's Sharia compliant. By studying logic, students develop a critical mindset that allows them to evaluate claims and arguments effectively. It also works to train the mind. So a person learning logic and mastering its issues and perceiving its points of errors in thinking is similar to, like we talked about this before, someone learning the art of swimming. On a sound scientific basis, with proper training, they acquire their movements in swimming with fluidity, elegance, and speed. Developing logical aptitude on a scientific basis is similar to developing the habit of swimming on a scientific basis, or anything. Well, the logical mind and the body trained in swimming perform their work correctly in a controlled system with purposeful mental and physical effort. It's really nice, beautiful example. And we read some of these before. And we talked about this conclusion. The educational value of the science of logic lies in its ability to develop the capacity for sound thinking in research and criticism, evaluating opinions and ideas, assessing evidence and proofs in various fields of human thought. For us, of course, interested in religious vocation, that's going to be pinpointed to Islamic thought, ideas, and opinions. I want to stop here. I understand that some of this we went through before, but I felt was key to just address a few things I didn't address last time. But next, I want you to focus on the next lesson. It's very important. We're going to talk about some of the key terminology in Islamic logic. It's going to help you as you start to navigate text and readings. And as we move through sort of unpacking in greater detail some of the terms that are provided here. May Allah bless you and increase you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.